Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Udwe Jagero, and this is Dialogues with Jagero. Today I'm in the studio with Joyce Wambua Osborne, all the way from which
state?
Which state is it?
I live in Delaware.
Delaware.
The first state, yes.
What do you mean by the first state?
It's the first state. It was the first state in U.S. We have 52 states, but it was the first state.
What does that mean? Because you are assuming that all these other states, where were they?
No, it's not like where were they?
Yeah.
Like when they were naming the states, when the United States was coming together. So
Okay.
that was the first one to be established as a state.
Oh, I see. Because
Yes.
we have Mombasa County 001. So it's like that.
Maybe kind of like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about yourself. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I really appreciate being here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the Kenya you once left some years ago? What is going on here?
I come to Kenya every year.
Okay.
You know, so I'm a little bit in touch with what's going on in Kenya. So I don't get to see a lot of differences, again, because I do visit yearly. My mom is here. My siblings are here. Family is important to me, so I make sure I do come and see it.
Yeah. Can I ask you a difficult question?
Of course.
Where would you rather be today in 2026? In the United States or in Kenya?
I'd rather be right here with you doing this interview.
That's not,
I am exactly where I need to be. Yes.
that doesn't answer my question.
No, but I am exactly where I need to be.
Here in Kenya?
Here in Kenya. In this studio.
In this studio?
Yes, yes.
Very well. So what is Delaware known for? Delaware, how do you pronounce it?
Delaware.
Delaware. What is it known for? Is it an industrial town? Is it it's a farm? It's a farming community? What is it?
Yeah, it's not well, let me not say that, but Delaware is very family oriented. It's a very great place to raise your family or to retire. It's a very small state, but it's surrounded by big states. Like New York is like 3 hours from where we are. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Virginia, Maryland. So we have a D.C., which I love to visit D.C. They're all states that are close to Delaware. So Delaware is very quiet. It's a tax-free state.
I've never understood that. Okay. When you say tax-free, because when I'm sending something to Delaware, it's usually tax-free.
Yes.
So that means that the state itself has said, look, we are not going to tax our people.
Sales tax only. So if you buy something in Delaware, let's say you go to the mall, Christiana Mall is one of our biggest malls. I live like maybe 10, 15 minutes from that mall. If you purchase something in Delaware, let's say it's $10, you only pay $10.
Because you know what I have always realized is that when I send something to Texas for it to be brought by Kentex Cargo, it is usually there is tax on it.
Yes.
But when I send it to Delaware, there is no tax on it, even from Amazon.
Yes. So there's no sales tax. If you buy something, say in Pennsylvania, our neighboring state, or Maryland or Virginia, and it costs $10, you might end up paying $12 or $11.50. So the $1.50 or the $2 extra is sales tax, and that's what Delaware does not have. So we'll have a lot of people from the neighboring states. They come and shop at our malls, and it's also a very good place for corporations. So a lot of banks in Delaware, they come and set corporations there. So there's a lot of tax benefits in Delaware. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place.
You've been wanting to remove it. Okay, so when I'm calling you with one name, which is it?
Well, I go by Jay now, so you can call me Jay.
Jay, like J...
E-Y. J-E-Y. Yeah.
Is that your salsa name?
It is my salsa name. Ultra ego name.
Okay. Tell me, the audience is waiting to know, who is this lady?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can introduce myself. So I go by Joyce Wambua Osborne. I'm a lover of life. I'm an explorer of the world. And I hold a few roles. One of them is being a mother. I'm a mother of 2 handsome, hardworking, intelligent, God-fearing young men.
God-fearing.
God-fearing young men. I have good kids. You know, I feel very blessed. I have good children. They work very hard. They don't give me no problems. I'm also an author. Of course, we're going to talk about the book.
Yeah.
I'm a mentor. I have 3 mentees, and I would like us to talk a little bit about mentorship. I also have a mentor who mentors me. So mentoring is something that's very important to me. I'm an auditor. I have my MBA and my CPA, and I work for a chemical company in Delaware.
Great.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a few questions about. Remember when we met at the restaurant? I was telling you that I don't have mentees.
Yes.
Probably there are people that look up to me, like but I've never it's never been like official that this is my mentee. Like Peter is my mentee. Like, he could be my mentee because I'm teaching him a lot of things in terms of But we don't like sit down and take off and say, oh, mentor, oh, blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
I also don't know I don't think I have a mentor. I don't think so. There are people that I look up to, but I don't think I consider them mentors because I think probably there has to be a relationship. Like there is an understanding between the two of us that you are my mentor, I am your mentor, right?
Yes.
And vice versa. So what you looked for the mentees, or where did they come from?
Yeah, so, one, let me just clarify. It doesn't really have to be spoken. If there's someone you hold their hand and they come to you for guidance and advice and you speak on things, and, that's mentorship too. It doesn't have to be written on pen and paper that you're my mentor by my mentee. But I think giving back and holding someone else's hand and guiding them is very important. It's really very important. We don't get to where we are on our own, and for me, I feel like if I had mentors growing up, or like a safe space, or an aunt growing up, some of the mistakes I made, especially when it came to relationships, I would have avoided them. So let me just mention that. For me and my mentees, most of them, it has been people who've come to me and they've said, could you please mentor my nephew? Like 2 of them, a friend of mine in Norway, we grew up together. The one, she was studying her career, and my friend said, could you please mentor my niece? Her name is Emily. She's doing very well. We don't catch up as much because she's in a good space. Then I have 2 other ones. One of them, the father actually came to me. I was here with my sons 1 year, and he was helping us move around and get some of the errands we needed to do. And at the end of him, just navigating a few days with us, he was like, Jay, I've seen how you are with your kids. Could you please mentor my daughter?
That's interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting because is that parenting or mentoring?
It's not parenting. So there's 2 different things. First of all, a mentor and a mentee. The mentee has to want to be mentored. It's a 2-way relationship.
And that is my problem because the other day a lady told me that could you be, I think a lot of ladies today are having an issue with the fathers are not in the children's lives.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they're feeling like my son needs a father figure or some sort of a male figure.
Yes.
Let's say male figure.
Yes.
All right. A lot of women tell me that, but I've never really gotten to help them.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the problems I'm having with mentoring is that the women want their boys to be mentored. But the men, the boys that they're speaking of, are not seeing the sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, for example, the last one.
Yeah.
In fact, the lady is from the United States.
Okay.
She told me that I would like you to speak with my son.
Yes.
But I said, okay, you have my number.
Yeah.
Give him my number.
Yes.
Let him call me.
Yes.
He never called.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is something that I keep seeing, that all these young men that I should be mentoring, it is their parents, it is their relatives pushing them towards mentorship.
Yeah.
But they do not see the sense. Like, what is my mother telling me to go talk to this strange man?
Yeah.
Why should I be talking to him again?
Yeah.
So it is very interesting how you are getting to have mentees and I'm not getting to have.
So, like I mentioned, the mentee have to want it. My boys have always had mentors growing up, and they had their father in their life. Personally, I believe, especially for boys, it's good to have a father in your house, but I wanted my children to see there are more male figures who have made it and who are successful, not just your father. And to get perspective and from other men, for me, it's very, very important. Especially being black boys in America, I wanted my children to see other black men who have made it. So even though their father was in their lives, they still had mentors. And the mentorship, it's a two-way relationship. Like for me and my mentees, I let them know I'm available to you 24/7. I'm not going to be calling you all the time. You have to want it because I'm bringing value to you. It's free of charge. I'm not charging you. I'm giving you my time. We have conversations. And then at the end of it, I'll say, you make a decision. So I just help them see things from a different perspective. I'm not making decisions for them. Yes.
Okay.
And we can talk about anything. We talk about finances. We talk about relationships. We talk about sex. We talk about careers. Sometimes they have challenges at home. And we just talk about it. And I let them know, this is how I see it, but I need you to make a decision. The other thing I communicate with the parents too, and this was the same thing with my children and their mentees. I don't really need to know what my children and their mentees are talking about unless it's something that concerning. Like, for example, if my child went and told the mentee, I don't want to be in this world anymore. That's concerning. I would expect the mentor to come in, let me know. The same thing, like the conversations I have with my mentees, I don't call their parents and tell them this is what we talked about unless it's something concerning. And as a parent, I'm like, the parent need to know that. And the parents never ask me. It's a relationship. They trust me. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I should try get mentees here and there.
It's a good thing. It's giving back. And for me, it's one of those things when I see my mentee grow, I'm not just here to mentor you and not see any changes. I want to see growth. What are you doing next? What are you struggling with? Let's talk about it. Finances are big for me. Like I was telling one of my mentees, I need to work on your budget. When she started working, we had a budget. And we would meet every month. We go through her expenses. We go through the income coming in. We talk about the decisions of what she wants to do with her money. Is she saving? Is she investing? What money is she putting aside, for emergencies? Things like those. When it comes to love, why are you dating this boy? What do you like about him? How does he treat you? How does he make you feel? Are you just doing it to fill a void? Is it pressure because all your friends have boyfriends? Or is it someone you want to be with? Do you even have room to have a boyfriend right now? So those are, it's a safe space.
I think for me it has been very difficult. Part of the reason why it's been very difficult to mentor is probably because I did not have one. And I just barreled through life by fiat.
But that's the reason you should have mentees. I didn't have a mentor.
Okay.
And from reading my book, you'll see a lot of mistakes I made, bad decisions. We talked a little bit about trying to fix people. Like the broken wing. We talked about that, and I feel like if I had a safe space, if I had a mentor or even an aunt where I can say, hey, I'm dating this boy, he's telling me this and that, then maybe that person will say, that's not healthy. That's not a good thing. But without that, especially as a young person, you just stumble through life, you keep falling, and until you get to a point where you stand on your own. And sometimes this happens when you're in your 40s. I didn't really get to know my self-worth or who I was until after my divorce. That's when I really pause and say, wait, what's been going on in my life? Why do I keep on making the same mistakes? So I'd never really paused to reflect on my own life, like look at myself in the mirror. But when you have a mentor, they're looking at you. I'm looking at what my mentees are doing. One of them was performing the other night at salsa, and I was
How
there.
was it, by the way? You told me you were going there.
I did. It was amazing to see her on stage. And when I started mentoring her, she was very shy. She was just starting college. She's in KU. I went to KU. She's doing BCom. I did BCom. So she loves to dance. I'm a dancer. So we're aligned in many things, so it was really nice to see her like in her element, just shining.
I wanted to ask you something. Do you talk
Yeah.
about your age?
My age? Yeah, my age is in my book.
On a podcast.
Yeah, I do talk about my age.
You're 49.
I'm 49, yes.
Yeah. And you look very young, like 26.
Thank you.
What is the cheat sheet that you have?
Yeah, I'm a very happy person. I have joy from within. I'm very in tune with my emotions, my feelings. I'm big on energy. I move in spaces where I fit in, not where I squeeze in.
What does that mean? Where you squeeze in?
Squeezing.
Do you think a lot of people are squeezing in?
They force things. And I was that one person at some point where it's not working, but I don't want to give it up. And the power is when you know you can walk away. Walking away when things don't serve you, relationships don't serve you, friendships don't serve you. And most of us never really have the courage to do that. We might say, it took me, 4 times for me to tell my ex-husband I wanted a divorce before I finally physically, put in the divorce and moved out. So sometimes things are easier said than done. But being powerful enough to say, this does not serve me, I'm going to walk away, and being where you're celebrated. Alignment is very important. Shared values, very important. Not just squeezing in, like trying to squeeze a square in a circle. Yeah. I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to your life.
Yeah.
So you're in Kenya. Tell us a little bit about your how you were raised. Were you living in Lavington? Were you living in?
Yeah, I was living in Langata with both my parents, my mom and my dad. I grew up in a very good home. I have 6 siblings. So it's 7 of us in a 3-bedroom house in Langata. Very good childhood. My dad was an amazing man. We lost him in 2019. And, I discussed a little bit how that has affected me, losing my father. He did an amazing job raising 7 kids. There was a lot of love in my home. He never said it, but he showed it. And he loved my mom. If I know what true love is...
How do you know your father loved your mom?
We saw it.
How do you see that?
Oh my goodness, how he treated my mom. The respect at home. There was a lot of respect for my mom. And he always used to say, it's funny, my dad would come home, bring us chips and chicken, wake us up at night. And, my children, wake up and eat. Because he had been out drinking, but he always brought something home for his kids. It doesn't matter what time it was. He would wake all us up. We would have the food like in one big, is it called sinia, like a big plate? We would all eat from there. And he would tell us stories. The importance of siblings, love each other. He would tell us how much he loves his mom. My mom, sometimes would say, have you seen my beautiful wife lately? So it was things like that. My parents did a lot of things together. They always held hands. Even at 70 years old, they were holding hands. So growing up in that home, I saw what true love is. My dad was really big on education. Like, education was the key. We were not asked if we were going to college. We were told that you were going to go to college. Yeah, so...
Did you date a lot when you were in your Langata?
No, I have one boyfriend who my best friend introduced me to, but it was a high school boyfriend. It was just kuandikiana barua, like he was writing letters to me when I was in Pangani Girls, but nothing much. I really grew up in a sheltered home. My parents were very strict. We never got into trouble out there. It was a strict home. Like, there was structure. We knew what was expected. We knew how to carry ourselves. We knew to be respectful. My dad instilled all those values and kindness, compassion, being present. And my mom was the safe space, the home, the disciplinary, the making sure, we're doing our homework. And she used to tell us, she used to help us with our homework, right? And my mom didn't have much education, but she used to say, nitawasomesha mpaka mahali nitashindwa kuwasomesha. Because she doesn't, if standard 8, she doesn't understand those things, then she'll get us a tutor. So I used to go for tutoring and just to make sure I'm getting my education. But I loved school. I enjoyed school.
Tell me about Dan. Because this is now the story that, this is what happens before you leave for the... Yeah. What was going on? You wanted to marry Dan?
Dan is the man I wanted to marry. We dated for 7 years.
7 years?
7 years. I'm very loyal. Like, and not just in relationships, like even in my career, in things that I do. Like the person who's been doing my hair, she's called Zaitun. She's done my hair for 10 years. I've gone to the same nail salon.
Really?
I'm very loyal to what works for me, so I kind of stick. So we dated for 7 years, all throughout college. He was in Kabete campus.
Kabete campus is which university?
BCom, Nairobi University. Okay. Yeah, BCom. Very intelligent young man. And when I was meeting him, or when we were starting dating, my dad, I was coming out of a really bad relationship, which was very, a little bit controlling, manipulative. But I was young. At that point, I didn't even know this was emotional manipulation. I was getting out of that, and he just happened to be right there. So unlike this other relationship that was manipulative, this other person, Dan, was... he was very loving. He was educated like me. There was more of alignment. So it's a person I wanted to be with. But I think after a while, we were both very young and immature. And I feel like ladies, we are usually more ready for family and marriage, maybe earlier than our male, the boys. So when I was ready, he just wasn't, and still was, my mindset was way ahead. So there was a misalignment there, but he's the father of my first child. So I dated him for 7 years. My parents, my family, they knew him. His family knew me, and, I ended up getting pregnant. You
still light up while talking about Dan.
Dan was
30 years ago,
yes,
later.
He was my first love.
Okay.
I think I've been in love where I wanted to be really in love twice in my life.
Oh, really?
So that was the one time, you can fall in love with someone, or you can just find yourself, but where you know what's going on and you have the whole feeling. Because as we talk about that, I'm going back to 19, 20 years. And I'm reliving those emotions, Not that the feelings are in my present here, but I'm speaking about how that relationship was. Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys get pregnant. Then the issue with the United States crops up. How does that work? Tell me a little bit about that story.
Oh, the issue with?
You get pregnant and then you are going to the United States. That story.
Yes. So this is like a crossroad for me, right?
Okay.
So I have a best friend. He's in the US, right? He helps me apply for my MBA in Iowa. He was in Iowa State. I get all the paperwork. I get my interview. At that point, I'm pregnant.
At what point do you know that you're pregnant?
After I get my visa, because I was 7 months pregnant when I moved to the US. So the whole thing is going on. Maybe by the time I'm 3 months, I'm really like, oh my goodness, I am pregnant. But the process for my MBA is already going on. I don't stop
It took a little bit of time.
It took time,
Do you think you started it before you got pregnant?
It could have been started before I got pregnant, because I remember my friend had come to Kenya to visit. I gave him all my documentation, and he went back to the US, applied. So that, I think it started before I was pregnant, and at some point I got pregnant, but the process had already started. It just happened. Now here I am. I'm supposed to be going for a visa interview, and I'm very pregnant. And my boyfriend at that time, Dan, he's not ready to be a father. I mean,
This was an oops child.
I don't say, we didn't plan to have the baby, but when I realized I was pregnant, I wanted that baby. I wanted to keep the baby, and he just wasn't ready. Again, I'm maturing faster. He's not ready to be a father, but I'm ready to be a mother. And I'd had the whole situation with Kamau before, and I didn't want to...
Ted Kamau.
Yeah, I didn't want to go through that again.
Okay.
So I was ready to be a mother. So anyway, I go to the embassy, I get my visa. Now it's time for me to come to America.
Yeah. Mm.
That was hard.
How are you feeling, Dan? What is Dan thinking? She's flying away with my child. I am going to the US pregnant. What is this going to be like when I finally give birth to this child? How do I navigate this, being a mother, being in school, being in a strange land? Mm-hmm. What is going on in your head?
A lot, but I'm very determined, and I'm a very persistent person. I'm very goal-oriented too. If I put something on my mind, I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I always, as a child, I didn't know this was manifesting, but I always used to look outside the window, and I used to say, there's something big for me waiting out there. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something, and I'm going after it. So that was just one of the moments. The same thing as this year, and we'll probably touch on that a little bit. The beginning of this year, last year was very difficult year for me.
Also?
It was like where I am sitting right now. If I tell you where I was sitting last year, time like now, very difficult. But then again, the beginning of this year, I said something big is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it. So going back to me being pregnant, I knew something big was going to happen. I didn't know. I knew there's a big world. I want to pursue it. I've always been curious. I've been very courageous. These are some of the personalities my dad had. My dad was very hardworking, very courageous, just determined, persistent, resilient. So I take a lot from him. And the compassion part and loving, that's my mom. Mm. Yeah, that's my mom. So I was willing to try out something different. I was open. I've always been open. I've always been curious. So I was going to take that step.
The plane, you remember, is this the first time you're flying out of Kenya?
It is the first time I'm leaving the country, 24, 25, very pregnant. But because I was stressed, you couldn't really see the pregnancy. I wasn't really eating. I was stressed. My dad did not know I was pregnant.
When you were leaving?
He did not know.
Mother?
My mom, I don't think he knew. The only person I told was my grandmother.
But Dan knew?
Of course, he knew I was pregnant. Dan knew I was pregnant.
Okay. At the airport, Dan is there?
Dan is there. He shows up with his new girlfriend.
When did you guys leave each other?
So the minute he knows I'm pregnant, he's just checked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't want this. I'm not. By the time I'm leaving, we've already broken up. I'm pregnant. I'm by myself. It's not a we anymore.
But he's gracious enough to come and see you off. Yes, but with his new girlfriend. Why did he come with the new girlfriend?
I don't know. Maybe it was a platonic friend, but I can tell you that was hard. My whole family still knew we were dating. So I didn't even want to blink, because if I blinked, I was going to cry.
Oh, really?
It was that difficult. because you're pregnant, you have a lot of emotions and, you need support, but there's not that support. But again, I had to just put my head up and, I've had to start all over again. That's why the book is called Seasons of Me. I've had a lot of seasons.
You have?
And starting all over again.
Is it... when you say a lot of seasons, what is your understanding of that? Seasons. So a woman passes through seasons. Because I can count a few seasons in my head in your story that you wrote.
Yeah.
The story of you being a girl living in Nairobi and being raised up in a very good family. By the way, it's very hard for these days to hear people talking so well about how they were brought up. It's interesting that you were brought up so well. You're a loving father. You're a loving mother.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank
you. I think that was amazing. A lot of us did not grow up in very good houses. You are in the plane.
Yeah.
The first time in the plane.
It's the first time in the plane. It's the first time I'm leaving the country.
How do you feel when you finally sit to the window? Was it a window seat? You remember?
I don't remember, but I'm sure I requested for a window seat.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
Remember, I'm young.
Okay.
And that's why I encourage young people to take risk. To just try new things. I'm young. I'm excited. I'm not seeing any danger ahead of me. All I'm seeing is a new land, opportunities, dreams for me.
What do you know about America at this time? What do you know about America?
Very little. I only know what they're showing us on TV.
Okay.
Everybody there is light-skinned, has long hair, is pretty, everybody's driving a nice car, everybody has made it, the money is just flowing. So in my head...
It's the heaven you are going to.
You know what I used to say?
Yeah. No. Tell me.
I used to say, if I make it to America, then the only other place I want to make it after that is heaven. That is how I used to see America. Like it's this land of milk and honey.
You land there. What happens?
I land there. My best friend is waiting for me.
Oh, the man.
Airport.
It's interesting that you call him a best friend. Best male friend for a woman.
Yes.
You had friends on him.
It's not a friends on him because we were never in a relationship.
Okay.
We just grew up. I've had 2 very healthy platonic relationships.
Okay.
And I think like for him, that was the healthiest relationship I've ever had because it was not romantic. It was just, I look out for you, you look out for me. You advise me, he's a guy, so he can advise me on things I don't know. We used to talk a lot, and my parents and my family knew him. His family knew him. He used to come to my house. We used to talk until late in the night. I'm inside the house because my parents are like, you cannot leave the house. It's late. I'm inside the house. We had these gates that had like I don't know what we call them, but you could see each other. So I'm inside the house. It's outside the house, but we're just talking. And my mom is like, you're not done talking. And that's the other thing I like about my parents. They were able to support my friendships.
I am not talking about this friendship, your friendship with this gentleman specifically.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Don't you think that this is the person that one should marry in life?
Well, you should marry your best friend if you have one, but ours was never romantic.
Yeah.
Like, we were never attracted to each other. I know from my end, we were never attracted to each other like that. In fact, I met my first boyfriend through him. He was his friend. Him and Dan were also friends. So he's the one person. Have you ever heard of destiny helpers?
No. What is a destiny helper?
A destiny helper is someone who comes to your life or you cross paths and they help you to get to your destiny. Like he has been my destiny, because he has been my destiny helper in different ways. Like my boyfriends was through him. Me coming to America was through him. So I've had a couple of destiny helpers.
So your friendship began here and then you left for America?
Our friendship began when we were maybe 10 years.
Oh, I see.
We grew up together in Langata. We were neighbors. We were family friends, and we were the same age. So it's not someone I'm meeting when I'm 17 or 6. It's someone we have been raised together.
Like a brother and a
Like
sister.
a brother and a sister, exactly.
I see that now.
Yeah, it's like a brother and a sister relationship. There's a lot of respect, a lot of love. We want each other to win, and we're very competitive.
His name is?
Well, his real name is Vincent, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind me mentioning his name.
Yeah, I think it's all good. I wanted to give a shout out to Vincent.
Hey Vincent, he knows that he knows. We're still friends right now, and he knows how important he has been in my life, and he's been he plays a big part on where my life lands.
Okay. School. How does that work for you?
School?
Tell me a little bit about that story, how you progress from landing there until the day that you give birth.
Oh, school in America?
Yes.
So I get to Iowa. My friend is living with his brother. I'm pregnant, so it's a lot of challenges there because these are young boys. We're all in our 20s. They're trying to navigate life. I'm trying to navigate life. We don't know what we are doing. We're all in this foreign land. But he's been in America, I think, by that time, a year or two before me. So he knows a little bit of the laws of the land. So my school was in Iowa State. But because of challenges there, I didn't attend the school in Iowa State. I have another friend who we were in college together. She's in America too. She came to America a year before me. She says, hey, Joyce, then, why don't you move to Delaware? Excuse me, why don't you move to Delaware?
And continue your schooling there?
And continue your schooling there.
The same university?
No, different university. So I haven't even joined Iowa State. Iowa State is an hour from where I live with my best friend, right? So, transportation is an issue. So my friend in Delaware, we're in KU together, says, why don't you move to Delaware? At least we're girls here, we can help you. It's going to be easier for you. So I talked to my best friends, like, okay, sure, it's fine. So it's like a bittersweet thing, me moving from Iowa, but it's the best thing for me. I relocate to Delaware. My best friend from KU, introduces me to the sister. So I live with a sister. She's very motherly. She's very nurturing. She just takes me in, and I'm pregnant. So I've had a lot of people, hold my hand in life.
What is it about you that makes people love you?
I think I'm authentic. I'm genuine. Integrity is important, and I'm a person of my word.
What I've also realized within the very short time that I've known you is that you always have the quest of knowing what the other person is thinking, what is in their head. Is that important to always find out what is in the other person's head so that you know how to move along with this friendship?
Yes, I think we should always be curious, and I'm a life learner. I want to understand you. If I do, then our relationship will be better. And I've come to learn that people could be good people, but maybe you're just not in the same space. You just don't want the same things. And being okay with that is really growth. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means right at this moment, we are just not aligning. We don't want the same things. So I'm very genuine. I'm a person of my word. My word means something. It's not just sound. And I think sometimes people pick that up, and my energy too. I give 110% of everything I say I'm going to do. Yeah, I give my best. It doesn't matter what it is. I give my best.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The pregnancy starts to show while you're in America.
Yes.
And what are people saying?
I mean, being pregnant is not a big deal in America. My
friends,
my
what?
friends,
They know. The ones.
They know I'm pregnant by the time I'm coming. So it was just my one friend from Kenyatta University. I don't have any friends. I don't know anyone in America. I don't have family. I only have her. And now her sister. So I'm building new community, new networks, but I don't know anyone. But I can tell you, by the time I'm going to give birth, my friend has, Elisa, she has already organized a baby shower for me.
Oh.
And I don't know anyone in America.
Baby shower is where they give you gifts for your upcoming baby.
Yeah, they have a party for you. You're having a baby, so people come to celebrate that you're having a baby, and everybody comes with a gift.
Oh.
So the day of my baby shower,
I think that was a perfect baby shower. I think so. Because you really needed those friends.
they were not my friends. They were my best friends' friends. They were Lisa's friends. But just her word of mouth, hey, my girlfriend from KU is here. She's pregnant. She doesn't know anyone. Please, I'm holding a baby shower for her. Can you come? So it was her networks.
And they did.
Let me tell you, that day, the day of the baby shower, my friend Lisa takes me to the hospital, right, for a checkup. We get there. The doctor says, you're not going home. You're giving birth today. I'm like, I can't. Tonight is my baby shower. They're like, no. All you have is baby, no fluids. There is no way you're going to go home. This baby has to come out today. First, we think it's a joke, but they don't let me leave the hospital. So my baby shower continues. I'm at the hospital, but if I tell you for a whole year, I didn't buy diapers.
Really?
I did not. People came, and I think my story, them just knowing this young girl, she's really trying to pursue her education. She's pregnant. She doesn't have any family. It touched a lot of people. It touched. I didn't buy diapers for a year.
Did that change you in as far as you connect with the people?
I've always been very appreciative, but that right there, being that they were all strangers, they didn't even know me, that really, really touched me. I mean, in America, there's a lot of community together. People help each other. And it's very important. We are far away from home. So you end up having new families, and we support each other, and you love on each other. Networks, which I didn't have by that time because I was new. So yeah, I give birth. I have all these gifts. I have another friend of mine whose son was a year older than my son. And if I tell you, this lady used to pack things every 3 months and bring them to me, including toys. They're like, okay, my son has outgrown these clothes. My son has outgrown these toys. Here you go.
That was a lot of love in your formative years in America.
A lot of love. And if I could just, I can't
in the eyes of the government, you were, okay, so this girl has come here to the United States to study.
Yeah.
Now suddenly she has a child.
Yeah.
By the way, what was the laws then when you were getting your firstborn? Are you at liberty to say his name, no?
Yeah, his name is Baraka. His name is in the book.
Yes, it's in the roof, yes. No, but in the podcast.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So the laws back then, I can say, though, a little bit easier. So I didn't end up with a medical bill. I did not. I went to the hospital and I delivered my baby. And back then I had government assistance. I had government assistance. If I tell you I was living on, there's a program called WIC, Women, Infants, and Children. Okay. That program was a big help to me. Like giving me milk for my child because I wasn't working. I didn't have any resources. So I used to go to the WIC office and they would give me milk for a whole month. They would give me beans. They would give me rice. They would give me vegetables.
Really?
Yes. They would give you a voucher and you'd go to the
Is it a food stamp?
Food stamp. Yeah.
I know about that.
Food stamps. Yeah.
I wonder why they call it a food stamp. Well, like a stamp. Why is it a stamp?
Yeah, I don't know. Things have changed, but back then it wasn't really. I wasn't in the food stamp program. I was in the WIC program.
WIC. What is a WIC?
It's Women, Infants, and Children.
Women, infants, and children.
Yes.
Whether you have a husband or not.
Yeah, they support women. So for me, I wasn't married. So they do look at your income and see how much you make. I wasn't really making any money. I was just...
But they're asking, she's not American.
Yeah, back then there
But
were
you're a
not
woman in
yet-
America.
I'm a
That
woman in
that
America,
that
and I have
matters.
a child. What qualified me is I have a child. It doesn't matter where I'm from. They look at you like a mother with a child. It's not like you're Kenyan.
I'm trying to go into the politics. I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether we want to go to the politics of it. Because what would have happened to a young Kenyan woman today, giving birth at a college in the United States today?
Yeah.
That would be problematic.
I wouldn't say problematic. Maybe the whole expense would not be paid for. Things have changed. Maybe the whole bill would not be taken care of by the government. But back then, there were so many programs that just cover women who cannot afford it. I'm sure they're there too. There's a lot of giving back in the U.S. There's a lot of organizations that just, even right now in the U.S., as a working woman, if I have a medical bill and I can't afford it, there are assistant programs that you can apply and they can help you pay the bill, even if it's not the whole amount, at least partially. So there's a lot of programs there that...
So Baraka becomes a U.S. citizen by
birth.
by birth. There was a problem that they wanted to remove it at some point.
Yeah, but I don't think that has gone through yet. Yeah, but in 2002, when he was born, when you were born in the U.S., then you became a citizen. Yeah. Yeah.
2002 is when Obama was a senator.
Yeah, I think he was a senator back then.
Then he becomes president 2005?
Is it 2005? I don't want to get my year wrong, but yeah.
Around that time.
Yeah, around
okay.
Around
you
that
met
time.
Osborne.
Yes.
Tell me about how that goes.
Yeah, so so anyway, me and Dan break up, right? I end up helping Dan come to the US.
Did he?
He did.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Dan, just before we transition to Osborne, Dan comes to the US. So Dan is left in Kenya. I go to the US, right? And the pressures of getting married, you need to be married. There was a lot of pressure. And I think for me, growing up with a mother and father in the house, I wanted my son to have that. So when Dan requested me to help him apply for school to come to master's, he was very intelligent. He was in Starehe Boys. So that for me was like a second chance in love. Maybe when he comes, this is a new land. We can start over again. We're going to be one happy family. He can help me with this child. I'm very overwhelmed.
This is all in your head.
It's, like sometimes we paint pictures in our head that are not reality.
Okay.
So I was doing that, So he comes over but things don't work out the way I played them in my head. So we ended up.
He's got his own issues. He's not looking at it like you're doing.
He's not looking at it the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like
He's not coming to get married.
People are who they are, no matter where you take them.
He knows from Kenya. He knows he's not coming to make a family with you.
Well, I don't know that. I can't speak on his behalf, but I know when he comes in, I'm so excited. Like, oh my goodness, the father of my child is here. We can finally be one happy nuclear family. But it doesn't play out that way. He's still not ready for marriage. I'm getting a lot of pressure from my parents. You're educated, right? You already have a child with this man. You've dated for 7 years. What are you guys waiting for? So there's that society pressure and, that you're expected to be married. There's a lot of, it's been put on you. So I'm putting that on him too, not realizing we're in two different spaces in our lives, right? So anyway, that relationship ends up not working.
It ends at the airport.
No, we've lived together for a year when he comes. We lived together for a year. There's a lot of challenges. We're young, I'm working. I'm trying to get him in the system. There's always, once you move to a new place, there's culture shock. There's a lot of getting to the system. It's very hard, to even learn the laws of the land. So he's in school. So he comes, he starts his master's too, the same school I'm going to. But there's a lot of, I think we're both coming in with some trauma and some immaturity too. I've grown. I'm not the person I was back then. So we are both not making mature decisions. For me, I'm putting a lot of pressure on the marriage. He's not ready. But for me, I feel like I'm getting a lot of pressure from the community and parents back home, like, umezaa na yeye, umemaliza kusoma, why is he not marrying you? So it doesn't play out the way I had envisioned it in my head. So we end up going separate ways. And now I'm just focusing on my education. I finished my master's, but at that time, I have a friend who's babysitting my son. I have to mention, I did a lot of odd jobs in the US. At one point, I was a nanny, scrubbing floors and toilets and taking care of kids. And it just humbled me. Like, you have to put your education on the side and do what you have to do. But for me, I knew this is just the beginning. I'm not going to end up here. This is where I am right now. It doesn't mean that's where I'm going to end up. So that encouraged me. And the fact that I had a child, my child needs to eat. so I have to work. So I was very humbled by that. But those were like some of my, beginning jobs and stuff. But anyway, we break up with Dan. It's just not working.
The second breakup.
The second, yeah. Second chance in love didn't work either.
Yeah.
That's why nowadays, like, for me, I never go back. Like, if we break up, I don't give it a second chance. There's no let's try this again. We broke up for a reason, so let's just keep on moving.
But people change. They could say, I change.
Yeah.
I was drinking, but I'm now a titular.
No. I feel like if we are dating, you should give me the best of you, and I should give you the best of you. You shouldn't wait for me to leave for you now to say, let's go for therapy, or I'm going to stop drinking, or No, give me 100% of you. Let me give you 100% of me, and let's grow together. Let's make this partnership work. We are partners. I want the best for you. You want the best for me. But you can't wait until you've... Now, I can tell someone who is emotionally unhealthy, because I'm healthy. I've taken the time to heal myself and just walk away from that.
How do you heal yourself?
Heal myself?
Yeah, how does one heal themselves?
One is facing the mirror and being very honest with yourself that I have these struggles. I had a couple of struggles. For me, it was always trying to fix people, just trying to find someone who needed to be fixed.
I thought about it when you told me about that.
Yeah.
It is called fixing broken wings.
The broken wing syndrome, yeah.
the broken wing syndrome. When you told me about it, I was wondering, how do you actually look out for people who are broken? Like, how do you want to look out for people who are broken?
Yeah, I don't think you even know you're doing it.
Okay.
That's the thing. I didn't know I had these patterns and I was doing all this until maybe 5 years, like after my divorce. Sometimes we never pause and reflect on our lives and look at what we're really doing. So after my divorce, that's when I actually started looking at all the guys I dated. And they were either coming from my first boyfriend, the healthy one, I broke up with him, the one from high school. Then the one after that, he was an orphan. And then here I am, I want to give you a hug. I'm coming from a good home. I can't imagine you don't have parents. So now I want to give you the love you never had. I'm trying to fill your void. And I think that's the compassion for my mom. That's just, I had too much of it until it was unhealthy and people could take advantage of it. So after my divorce, like 5 years ago, I was like, wait, that one was an orphan. And I just wanted to pour into him and heal his wounds. But you can't heal someone who doesn't want to be healed. We all have to heal ourselves. We have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, this is the issue right here. Let me go for therapy. Let me heal from it. Let me be the best I can. Let me read some books. Let me change my mindset. The other thing is mindset and the narratives we are told growing up. We are told some narratives that just instill in us, and we look at them like this is the word, but maybe it's not. That's why I say the journey of learning and unlearning. Yeah, so the mirror is the first place to start. You look at yourself and say, I have issues. And yes, I had issues. So I've done a lot of therapy throughout my life. Even when I was married, I used to go for therapy. When I realized something is off, I use therapy as maintenance. I want to make sure I'm in an emotional good place. That's the only way.
What does therapy mean to you? And do you recommend it to people?
100%.
And for people who are wondering what exactly happens in therapy, what is it? What is the whole scope of it?
Yeah, I 100% recommend therapy. I found my joy in who I am as a person and healed from relationships. Every relationship takes something from you through therapy. So therapy for me is a place you go to get some tools to learn how to navigate and how to overcome some challenges. I'll give you an example. The last session I had for therapy is when I lost my dad. So I've gone for therapy for different things. And I also lost a very good friend of mine. Her name was Chow, and I was struggling with that. And at the same time, I was going through a breakup. So last year, time like now was very difficult for me. There was the breakup, and there was my friend who had passed on. So my therapist, a very, very nice young man, but I've had different therapists. This just happens to be the last one I heard that I went to when I was trying to overcome some of these challenges. He taught me something that has really helped me, like reframing, right? And I didn't even know what that was. So therapy is a place you go and get tools to help you navigate life and overcome challenges. So I went to him and I said, I can't believe this relationship just ended with I didn't expect that. Like, it was a surprise. Everything was going on so well. I felt like we were gelling. Everything was good. I was so in love. Then I learned there's being in love and being in a love relationship are two different things. That was my lesson from that relationship. But my therapist, he taught me reframing, and he said, Jay, stop looking at it like maybe the person left. Because now, or maybe the relationship didn't work. Because if you do that, then you start feeling like you're less than, like you're not good enough. So he said, how about you look at it like this person freed you so you can meet the 8 billion people in the world, freed you so you can focus on other goals that you wanted to, freed you so you can take that trip you've always wanted to take by yourself, freed you so you can, do things that you couldn't do together. When you look at it that way, then that gives you power, and that is reframing. So that is something I've learned from therapy. So therapy for me gives me tools and gives me a different pair of lenses to see things and view things differently. And always make sure my mindset, my emotions are like in tuned. The other thing it taught me that I think was very powerful is there's logic and there's emotions, right? And women were very emotional beings. I'm a very emotional person. Like, when I laugh, I'm crying. I cry. I show emotions on my face. And so he said, you know what, Jay? You're a very intelligent person. But when you get to a point where your logic and your emotions are balanced, then you're good. We don't want you to lose your emotions. Emotions are very important to us. So is logic. So sometimes when you're having these feelings, pause and ask yourself, is a smart, intelligent girl, would they do that? Or is it just your emotions overpowering your logic and your mind? Ask yourself those questions. Like, remove yourself from that, and just, when you're asking those questions, it's like you're talking to someone else, and you can be more real and more authentic, and, just kind of put the emotions on this side a little bit, because they kind of overtake the logic, and we don't want that. We still want to have our emotions, but we want to make logical decisions, not driven by emotions. Like, don't make decisions when you're very emotional, because they might not be the best logical decisions.
Yeah. I get it. 13 years with Osborne.
15.
15.
Yes. Yes. So I meet Osborne through a friend of mine. I'm taking my son there for babysitting. And my friend's husband, every time I take my son, is like, hey, who's taking care of you? And I'm like, no one. He's like, are you sure you don't have a boyfriend? I'm like, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't know why people always think I have a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. And he says, I know the right person for you. I'm like, okay. He says, he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. If he's not at home, he's at work. You're going to love this guy. I'm going to hook you up. So he gives the guy my number. I tell him, why don't you wait? I graduate my master's. He's like, okay. But then the day I get home, we didn't have cell phones. We had those, the phones that are on the wall. You pick it up. So I get home, the phone rings, and Logan calls. And it's like, oh, my name is Logan. I was given your number by this person. And I'm like, well, I had told him to wait until I graduate. And it's like, oh, well, I want to talk to you. So we start a conversation. I tell him he has to wait until I graduate my master's. I'm very focused, and then after that, maybe we can revisit it. We can have a relationship. But he keeps calling. I'm like, okay, we can go on a date. We go on a date. It doesn't really go the way I expected him. Like back then, I was more of, okay, tall, dark, and handsome. And, and Osborne is very good looking, but he's not dark. He's light skinned.
He's Mexican?
No, he's American. He's African American. Is slender. So it's not the picture I had in my head. So, I'm looking like, oh, it's not going to work. Years later, he came and told me from our first date, I knew you were going to be my wife. And I was like, from our first date, I knew I wasn't going to see you again. So it was very funny when we were having this conversation. Anyway, I break it off. I'm like, this is not what I'm looking for. A year goes by. I graduate. I get my master's. I don't meet the guy who introduced me for a while. The year later, I bump into him. Because now my son is going, not Logan, my friend's husband who had introduced me. I bump into him, and he's like, Joyce, I cannot believe you said no to Logan. After today, he still talks about you and how much he really wanted to be with you, and he thinks you're very beautiful, very intelligent. I can't believe you said no to him. He's a good guy. Then I'm like, okay, wait. Where is that number again?
You're now ready. All graduated with masters.
Yeah, now
you got a job?
Yeah, I have a job. I got a corporate job.
You're settled?
I'm settled. My son is doing well. I've broken up with Dad. I'm like, wait, it's been a year? He still talks about me? He's still interested? Well, maybe I should have given this a chance. I call him, and I finally get through. We start talking. We go on a date, and he's very family-oriented. So I'm like, wow, this is good. This is good. He just wants to have a family. He knows I have a child, and he's just embracing the whole thing. And something I wanted, love and belonging, and so that was good for me at that moment. So we date a while, but our dating we're both really struggling financially. I have a job, but I have a child. I'm living on a home that's It's house assistant, so the government is helping with part of the rent. I'm paying half, the government is paying half. And I'm still getting the week from the government, so I'm still getting assistance. So we date, and I have big dreams, I'm just not there yet. So Logan wants to get married, he proposes, but we haven't really gotten to know each other. So he's proposed, and I have pressure from back home to get married. So this is perfect.
These people are calling you, emailing you about this pressure.
They're not. It's just conversations here and
there. Yeah. They drop them. They drop those conversations.
it's just those conversations. And then there's part of me, I'm putting pressure on myself too, because at this time I'm 25, 26. And for me, I also feel I should be getting married. I have a child, I'm done with my education. So I want it just as much. It's like a checkbox. And those are some of the things I talk about. Like, life is not a checkbox.
It's not?
It's not. No, I don't think it should be a checkbox. We all have different journeys, and we should embrace our journey without pressure from people and from the society. Logan proposes. I'm like, perfect. But because we didn't date for long, we are not compatible, but we don't know that. I'm an extrovert. I'm more of an outdoor person. I want to be out there. I have a lot of energy. I'm very goal-oriented. I'm always trying to build myself and see what's next. Logan, on the other end, he's an introvert. He's happiest at home. I'm happiest outside, and we struggle with getting a happy medium. But now we are married, and where I come from, divorce is not an option.
Okay.
So I can't even think about divorce. I'm actually the first person in my family to get divorced.
All right.
That was hard. Yes, even breaking the news. So in our 20s, I realized this is not it. But then again, trying to go where you're squeezing in, even if it's not working, trying to fit a square in a circle.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. Everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is odworjigero.co.ke. And now, back to programming. The marriage, how long do you quickly realize that, oh my God, this is going to be tough?
The first few years, maybe 2 years into it. but I don't get out.
For the next 15 years.
For the next 15 years. In my 30s, so I think I asked for a divorce 3 or 4 times before he didn't want to get divorced. So in my 30s, I also realized this is not it. So in my 20s, I don't even know the laws of the land. So when he's telling me things, like for example, when he say to me, I pay child support, I don't know what that means. So I'm new. What does that even mean?
Oh, why is he telling you? So that you don't, so that you know that some of his money is going there.
Yeah, but at that point, I don't know that. I don't know what child support means. I just got to this country. So I got married maybe 2, 3 years into the country. So I'm still very new. I don't know what that means. I'm like, oh, okay. I have children. Oh, okay. I also have a child. It's not a big deal. In America, it's not a big deal to have kids and get married. It's people get married even 4 or 5 kids. It's really not a big deal. So I didn't know the laws of the land. So some of those things, they start becoming challenges in the marriage. We have financial difficulties. And we are also struggling to find ourselves. I'm struggling to just maybe be a wife. Maybe I don't know how to be a wife. In life, I've had to really struggle and survive and push through.
In your head, what does being a wife mean to you at this time?
I think at this time it's just being present and being a mother. I don't know, I don't know what's expected.
Being a wife for the man. In Africa sometimes being a wife means that you literally take care of the man. Like you cook for him.
Yeah.
You make sure that his clothes are ironed.
Oh, wow.
You make sure. What do you mean, wow?
That is a lot. Well, I was never married in Kenya, so I don't know. In America, that's not it. That is not it. There's a lot of partnership.
But you didn't see your mother iron your father's shirts?
My mom did iron my dad's shirt. The dynamics were very different. My mom worked at home. She did a lot of work, making sure the children are okay, making sure my father, and my dad was a sole provider.
Worked at home, you mean housewife?
Well,
you don't want to call it that?
I don't want to call it that. I think
Do you think that the word is derogatory in nature?
The word is what?
Derogatory. Like it's not cool. It's not a cool word to use against when you are referring to women that take care of the home.
I think that word kind of downplays all the roles their mothers do in the house, which are very many. Because ya nyumba ishangi, like when you work at home, I'd rather work in the office than work in the house. The work at home is endless. Raising kids is emotional, and it's easier to write a check than to be there present with these kids and correct them and love on them. And in the middle of the night when they're sick, give them medicine and do all these things. That's the hard work. Writing a check is the easy part. So I think my mom worked a lot at home. She was the piece, and she kept.
I love it, but also it's interesting that you said your mother worked at home.
She did work. That is work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. Taking care of 7 kids. We were 7. Making sure we all do our homework. Making sure we go to school with clean clothes. Making sure that we feel loved. Affirmations, we love ourselves, we're getting good grades. That is a lot. And that time my dad is at work making the money, being the sole financial provider, which he did an amazing job with 7 kids. He loved on my mom. We never saw my dad bring another woman in the house, or disrespect my mom, or we never saw that. And my dad told us many times, look at my beautiful wife. That right there told us how much he loved my mom. So I didn't look at my mom like, oh, she was just a housewife. No, she was a woman, a mother who poured a lot into her children and worked at home.
I can only say beautiful. Anyway, the marriage comes to an end, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the marriage is struggling, financially struggling. We're not compatible. I am looking at things differently. So we are two good people who just want different things. And that's what I've had to learn. Like, being compatible is very important. Not only are we compatible now, but do we want the same future? Are we going the same place? If we're not going the same place, then this is just a recipe for, for frustration. I don't want recipes for frustration. I've had my share. So the marriage comes to an end because there's no alignment. Financially, there's no alignment. I am trying to save for the future. I'm looking at, do we have money for retirement? Do we have money for our children to go to college? Are we saving enough? Do we have emergency fund? I'm really living for the future, and my husband is living for today.
What does that mean, living for today? He's drinking?
No, he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke.
He's enjoying life.
He's maybe buying the latest car every 2 years, the most expensive clothes. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think we were both extremes. I'm only future-oriented. I'm just more on the future. He's more on the present. And we just struggled to get somewhere in there. So most of our struggles, like, we just never got a happy medium in all the things we did. I'm this extreme, he's this extreme. The other thing I think for me was growing up in my home where there was a lot of structure and being taught to work hard. I came in the marriage with maybe a little bit of more masculine energy. And I don't feel like we were taught how to, it's okay to be a go-getter and be aggressive and, win in the boardroom. But how do you transition and be able to be soft and feminine in the bedroom? There was I didn't learn that. So there's a part of me that came with, everything is a goal. We need to do this. Like, I don't know how to I didn't know how to lean back and receive and have people do for me. I was more of, I want to take care of things. And now I know that sometimes, even if I can do things, I just lean back and I don't have to do it. Someone else, is going to do it. And that's okay. I don't have to be in charge. I don't have to control my world. I don't have to be always the person offering help. I can just, I can relax. I can be softer. I can let people pour into me. I didn't know that back then. So these are things I've had to learn. And that was a challenge, because if you're married and I'm the woman and I'm doing all these things, then your husband can feel like he doesn't fit in. Like, why is he here? So that I take ownership for the part I played in the marriage, I discuss all that in my book. Like, what I can only take ownership of.
What is the ownership that you take?
Like what I just spoke about, like, wanting to control my world, being in charge, like wanting to get it done. Like, I was really like a get it done, like not knowing how to receive, how to just, like, for example, if I had told him, could you put this picture on the wall for me? And 2 days later, it's not on the wall. The third day, he'll find it on the wall. I'll do it. So, but now I've learned that it's not an emergency. It's okay if he puts it after 1 week. I don't have to have things like things don't have to be like a checkbox. Has this been done today? Check. I can be flexible, adaptable, and I can learn to receive, which was really a struggle, because all I learned growing up was work hard, be independent, be sufficient, make sure you have your own coins, have your networks, your resources. But that's fine. But there was nobody teaching us it's okay to have those things, but it's okay to receive too. It's okay to have someone pour into you. And men are supposed to be providers and protectors. And women are nurturers. They bring peace. They are loving. Anything you give a woman, they will multiply it. If you give her peace, there'll be more peace. Although peace, I say peace comes from within. You cannot ask someone to give you peace. You have to be your own peace. But women are naturals. They take everything you give them and they make it better.
Would you say that today's woman is struggling with marriage in general?
I don't know if I can say today's women. I know for me, I did struggle. I did struggle because, one, I don't know if there were anywhere where growing up I was taught how to pick a good partner. I don't think you get the love is bad, or you just meet someone who doesn't know how to love. Love you right.
Would you say a lot of women right now are living marriages?
If they're living marriages, if they realize they're not in the right marriage, there's a lot of people who stay in marriages that don't work.
Yeah.
A lot of people. It takes a lot of strength to walk away from a marriage. 15 years, that was not easy. I had left in my head like 10 times before I physically left.
Yeah, because what I really think about marriage is that I don't even know what people are going to get from that institution.
From the marriage, it's an institution.
Yeah,
but it's not a bad institution. I love marriage.
Yeah,
marriage
yeah.
is a good
But
thing.
I'm just every other day I'm just wondering why everybody that, because right when you drive around town on Saturday you see these big cars that they have hired and they have put ribbons on them.
Okay.
And they're ushering their lives into this marriage. At the back of my mind, I usually wonder whether they really know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people do not really know what they're getting into. I'm married now for 10 years.
Oh, congratulations.
But I don't think, even when I was getting into it, I knew what it was.
Yeah.
The magnitude of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, in my 20s, when I was getting married, I didn't know either. And I didn't have anyone to tell me, these are the things to look for when you're looking for a partner. I was just in love. You find someone, you're both in love, you're like, oh, we can do this.
And that is the thing. It is so difficult then to get yourself out of that love bubble and start looking at things properly. Like, who is this that I am marrying?
Yes. So when you're young, I didn't know the things I know now. Now, I know love is not enough. Love is a good thing. Chemistry is good.
What percentage does love occupy in a marriage?
Oh, love and chemistry is very important.
Would you say 10%?
No, I think higher than that. I need to feel the chemistry.
Yeah.
I want to be around someone.
But if you're having a bird's eye view on marriage,
yeah,
sometimes I feel like love is a very small part of it.
It is, but it's important.
At some point, people don't even talk about love in marriage.
Yeah.
Just talk about issues.
And children.
That is why I don't have a lot of them. I have one.
You have one child?
Yeah.
How old?
Coming to 10.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
A boy or a girl?
A girl.
A girl.
Yeah.
Okay, congratulations.
She's called Maya.
Maya, yeah. I think love is important, but now I know kindness, compassion, compatibility, and some of the things that money cannot buy. Who are you as a person? That's what I'm looking for if I meet a suitor, I'm single right now, but if I meet a
Are you
suitor,
looking to get married again?
I am looking to get married
beautiful.
again. I love marriage. I think marriage, I've seen my parents, they were married for 50 years. And I saw, how beautiful their marriage was. So I'm not coming from a place where just because my marriage didn't work, I have something against marriage. No, I desire to get married again if I meet a suitor, if I meet, someone we are compatible and we want to take this journey of life of partnership together.
You might get a lot of people calling you from this show.
Well, I welcome kindness and integrity.
Then you wrote a book. Let's talk about your book.
Yes.
Let's talk about
me.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Why did you choose this
the cover?
The cover. Why is there a tree on the background?
Okay, so the tree symbolizes different seasons. On one end, you see it's winter.
Yeah.
And winter is cold, is gloomy, is dark. Those were the seasons in my life where I was struggling. I was struggling to find myself. I didn't know who I was. I was in a dark, dark place. Like the wind could have blown me in any direction. And but God really protected me. There's a time I lived with a total stranger.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like I pray for him up to today. I was African American. I didn't know him, but I didn't have anywhere else to go. It was either that or I go to a shelter and live with all these women that I don't know in a government facility. So I chose to live with a stranger, and he was an amazing guy. I've had male friends who have been good, good to me, and I think when you have good boundaries and respect, people will treat you as such. So I have very healthy boundaries, and even the male friends I have, they respect me. So that section right there, the winter, the tree where the tree is withering, those are the very difficult times in my life. But I also have seasons where life was good. The green side of the tree, life was good. Me coming to America, I'm excited. I'm young. Life was good. The birth of my children, I was happy, especially the birth of my second child. I was married. We were a family. I wasn't doing this alone. My ex-husband was a present father to my children. Those were good seasons. So that's the season when I'm rediscovering myself. I've gone through a whole transition of rediscovering who I am. What are the things that make me happy? What do I love to do? Like travel, dancing, like cultures and meeting new people. Rediscovering myself. That's the green part of the tree. Those are good seasons. So that's why I have that. But it's also to let, viewers and people know that you might have some seasons that are challenging, but that does not mean you didn't have good seasons. So we need to embrace both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The book. You are here in Kenya to launch the book.
Yes.
Can you tell me about where are you launching the book?
Yes.
When is it? What is the time? And how much is it to come and celebrate with you?
Yeah. So it's more than a book launch. It's a celebration of hard work, celebration of life. And I use my platform to encourage all of us to write our stories. I often say that I don't want to be a name in my family tree. I want to be a story. I want to be a story because my dad, I think he did an amazing job in letting us know the names of our ancestors, but I didn't have the stories. So for me, being a story is important. So on December the 6th, this coming Saturday. Yes, and I'm excited that you're gonna be at the event.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold a conversation with you.
Yeah, so it's going to be this Saturday, December the 6th, at Pride Inn, Westlands, the one that has conference rooms and meeting rooms. I had there too.
This one is on Westlands Road.
The Westlands Road. Okay, thank you. Yes, so that's where we are going to be starting at 2 p.m. It's going to be amazing. You want to come to this event. It's going to be a celebration. Everyone who comes is going to get a signed copy of the book. There's going to be networking. This is our event. I want participation. There's going to be giveaways and little questions, Q&A here and there to have the audience engaged. The audience are going to get an opportunity to ask me any questions. I'm an open book, so they are welcome to ask questions during the Q&A. We're going to have live entertainment. I have my mentees there. So you'll get to meet my mentees too. Yeah, my mentees are there. They're going to be a performance.
Is it going to be salsa?
Yeah, I might.
Are you going to? You're going to do salsa together with the.
I'm not going to perform. I'm 50-50 whether I'm going to perform. You think I should?
You should.
I'm doing another.
Before you change the clothing.
I'm doing the outfit changes. I have like 3 outfit changes, but it's a celebration. And I'm not sure if I'm going to perform. I am doing a performance on Thursday with my mentee somewhere else. But
This Thursday?
This Thursday. Yeah, my schedule is crazy, but yeah.
How much is the launch?
The launch is 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Thank you so much for steering me in that direction. The launch is 5,000 Kenyan shillings, but like I mentioned, you get a signed copy of the book. There's lunch, your delicious meal. I was there the other day and I did a sample of the food, and the food was really good. And you do get the entertainment. You do get to be in this space where it's just inspirational and positive energy. I want us to build on each other. I want all of us to think about writing our stories. We should all write our stories. I told my mom the same thing. Even if you don't publish it, write your story. We all have stories.
I should write my story.
You should write your story.
Should write my story.
Yes,
Maclean, do you think so?
Own it. Write your story and own your story.
I will write it.
Imagine generations to come that you might never meet getting to read your story and saying, this is my great-great-great-grandfather, and look at how he lived. This is what he did. These are some of the challenges. Then they get to know, wait, I'm not the only one struggling with raising kids. My great-great-grandfather had the same challenges too, but he was able to navigate and overcome. It's important. So let's not be a name in our family tree. Let's be stories. And I'm hoping to see a lot of your viewers, my friends, people who are in Kenya come to the book launch. It's only 5,000 Kenyan shillings. So, grab your ticket today.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to DWJ. It was a really honor having you. I enjoyed the conversation very much. People of the internet, I'll be there at the launch. I'll be doing another conversation. So consider it a live audience interview again, where we are talking about seasons of us. Right?
Yes.
So until another episode, bye for now.